Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. My last, third, and final video of this Friday morning here in Seattle, Washington. I'll be catching a flight back to Los Angeles, and good riddance. Time to get out of this real terrible. I'm kidding. I love Seattle. It's such a great, beautiful place. I love the weather here. The people have been so kind. More on that on today's Bachelor Rush Hour podcast. Last night's stand-up show was a super successful show. So many of you guys came out, literally from out of the country. Canadians came in from Canada. Oregonians came in from Oregon. Did I pronounce that right? People from all over. So thank you. Someone even came in from the District of Columbia. So all over. Thank you guys all so much. Shawn Booth wishes Kaitlyn Bristowe well. We're going to cover this story here. And if you haven't already, check out Morning Show Dave. That's right. Morning Show Dave is over here yesterday on Seattle's hit morning show, New Day Northwest. I was on and we talked everything from pumpkin spice lattes to, let's see, I don't even know what this conversation is. Covered The Bachelor for the last decade, but it took off during the pandemic, became a daily, I didn't get a business degree thinking I'd be dabbling Bachelor as my full-time job, but it's an insatiable audience. They love the content. That's you guys. You guys got me on morning TV on NBC's King 5 in the Pacific Northwest. If you want to go watch that full segment, it's on Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal, and I'll have some other clips on the different Instagram reels. Very nice. All right, let's get into it. Shawn Booth says he hopes Kaitlyn Bristowe figures out what she wants after Jason Tartick split. Very nice. We're going to play this. As you guys know, you guys know me. I'm critical of all the different podcasters. I hope they take it as constructive criticism. I thought his interview with Chuck Wicks, when they discussed, some of the issues going on in the world, I thought it was a little tone deaf, to be completely honest, because I don't think they quite understood what they were talking about. But I think Shawn's doing a great job. His podcast is what I think other podcasts should aspire to be, like Hannah Brown's. They should be done the way Shawn's is being done. I think Shawn understands he is enough. He's enough with his voice. He's got good takes on things, generally good takes on things, but not always. But here he is with his co-host discussing heartbreak and getting over your ex. And in that getting over your ex, how you feel when you have to deal with, in Shawn's case, people knowing both him and his ex. Here's what they have to say. It's fascinating stuff. It's his first commentary after Kaitlyn Bristowe broke up with Jason Tartick.
Kind of caught off guard. Yeah. But I think the true sign of healing is that you nothing something. Is that you don't love it, you don't hate it, you feel no type of way, you nothing it. I don't think about him, I don't wish him well, and I don't wish him bad. Yeah. You do you, bud.
You do you.
I think you should. I agree that that the true healing is when you don't wish any ill will on an ex, but I don't know if I say I wouldn't wish them well. I wish all my exes well. I want them to be happy. But I think if I pressed her on that, she would agree with me. It's kind of just like, you're moving on. Good luck. All of that jazz.
Good luck out there.
Good luck out there.
Good luck. Yeah.
What about you?
What about me? What
about you? Do you wish your exes well? Do you feel some type of way?
Yeah, no, of course I do. I feel like it's at that point, like you said, where you don't feel anything anymore. Mm-hmm. You move on. Like my ex, I just heard that she's now broken off her engagement, and it makes me feel like, damn, hopefully she figures out what she wants. And
they were in love. They shared a house and their life together in this crazy experience on the show. Of course, there is going to be an attachment that'll never go away that Shawn has with Kaitlyn. It doesn't mean they need to be friends, or he doesn't mean he needs to tune into her book club or whatever. But of course, that's going to exist between them. You'd be a fool to say it doesn't.
I can get to a place where she's happy, and I know it's obviously very tough to go through a breakup and then putting it out there for the world to see, like we've talked about before. That adds a whole nother layer. So I'm like, yeah, I feel for that.
Yeah.
And we are proud of you, Cat. We just need to find you a boyfriend. We're going to do that.
Why, Shawn? Why can't I just
We're going to have a show where we're just going to do some speed dating.
Is Theo Vaughn going to be there?
Ooh, big Theo Von girl.
I would
Is he your
marry
number
him.
one?
All right, so then they go to his co-host here, comedian, very funny stuff. Yeah, I mean, what else can Shawn say? Is he going to send her a text message wishing you well? No, I don't think so. But it's he has a podcast now, and I really like what he's doing. I mean that. By the way, I like his outfits too. He's cool. He's a cool guy. No one's gonna be right 100% of the time. If I were to be in the hot seat with Shawn, and he were to say, "Hey, Dave, you were really critical of me about certain things," sure, yeah, absolutely. But I think we need to normalize expecting people are trying their best, and also knowing that I can argue a point and not the person. So because I disagreed with Shawn over a topic, it doesn't mean I think he's a bad podcaster or he's not a good guy. I just think I'm coming at it from a perspective that's outside of his, and that's fine. And I think if we go back to having the discourse online and in person and things like that, that's not so everybody's got to wear every sort of one of their beliefs on their sleeves. Like, look, it's if I was in the conversation with him and Chuck when they were discussing the things they disagreed on, we already covered it. I don't need to re-prosecute all my points. But if I was there, I think they would have bent a little bit on their opinions to understand the point of view of others. But because they were having a conversation that didn't involve an outside perspective, you didn't get that three-dimensionality. Is that a term? You know what I mean? We just saw an old school cartoon, not a Pixar. You know what I mean? It's just, it wasn't as robust of a conversation as it could have been. And speaking of robust conversations, Jason Tartick had posted this. I don't think we covered it, to be quite honest, that he posted, because it has to do with this story. He says it physically and mentally sucks to move out of home, he shared with ex Kaitlyn Bristowe. So he posted this Instagram reel, which was essentially just him showing a U-Haul getting loaded and some storage boxes, and his dog looked sad because his dog's like, "What are we doing there, Pops?" and all this stuff. And I have to say, it took us all back to a place. I don't know if you guys can agree with me on this, but a lot of commenters did, that they felt the immense sadness that Jason was feeling in that moment. And I talked to some people about this last night on at my live stand-up show. You know, after the show, we do a long meet and greet, and I try to talk to as many people as possible. But, you know, if there's 40 groups of people that want to talk, I can't talk 10 minutes to each person. There just isn't enough time in the day. So I try to be as polite. And if anyone came to the show and I didn't get to talk to you more, I already told Griselda, who was at the show last night, I'm sorry I couldn't be more one-on-one. I'd give everybody an hour-long conversation if I could. I felt like the Giving Tree sometimes. I'm like, you know, here's, I'm a stump. Sit on me. That's kind of weird. Sit on me, metaphorically. But the idea being is that I understand, and having talked to so many people, that these emotions, like, people are wondering who broke up with who. Jason in his podcast had real depth to his emotions, the way he was processing everything, whereas Kaitlyn tends to play more of a goofball. Now, goofball is a way to mask your feelings, and I don't think Kaitlyn's trying to do that, and I don't think that's a bad thing either. She's trying to make light of a real dark situation, because why cry on camera and make this whole stink when, you know, like, that's a very personal thing for her. So she puts on a brave face, and part of that brave face is making light of how sad it is and all that, whereas Jason in his podcast updates was doing more of a straight to his audience sort of audit of what it's like. And here he is talking about the split, because it's only been a few weeks. Moving on is never easy. In a video posted to Instagram, Jason Tartick shared the hardships that come with the end of a relationship when he documented his experience moving out of the home he shared with his ex, Kaitlyn Bristowe. It physically and mentally sucks. An exasperated Tartick says, moving sucks in general. Even if it's not breakup based, it sucks in general. But here's his Instagram post. Let's see if we can post it right here.
And mentally sucks. Yes. Thank God for him.
And there's the sad dog. Yeah, really, just real bummer. So this is what he posted. A few weeks ago, my best buddy Hawk called me and asked what my plan was for the weekend and if he could help. I told him I was starting to move out and that I appreciated his offer, but I was okay. I'll never forget his response. He said friendships would mean very little if they were only applied when it was convenient. He then booked his flight and was there the next day. I share this because although I said I was okay, I wasn't. And not only did I want him there that day and I needed him there that day, this has been another reminder to me that it's okay to show weakness. It's okay to ask for help, and that the support from family and friends is truly unbreakable when they know you really need to lean in. Promise sad post will be behind me shortly. It just felt too meaningful not to share. Thank you for everyone who has given respect and grace over the last month. I'll play it without the audio here, and he cuts to he cuts to his friend. And I've been talking a lot recently about my pal Matt, who passed away from a stroke. Going on a decade ago. It was so long ago, about 7 or 8 years ago. And I think of how loyal he was to me. And when I really needed a friend who would show up and be there for me, he was there before the phone call ended. And that's what this guy is to Jason. And what you learn over time is you absolutely cherish that small circle of friends and family that get you at your core and don't need a perfect version of you. And for that, it is a real beautiful moment, maybe the eye of a storm, that Jason can have the beautiful in the tragedy. And it is tragic. It's tragic for his life. It might not be tragic for everybody, but for Jason, and for those moments where, it's his emotions being ripped apart, to know that there's stability in friendships, that's a true beautiful moment. A lot of comments reflected that. Blake said, real friends are always there. Michael said everyone needs a Hawk in their life. So there he is, folks. There's your Kaitlyn Jason update. Shawn Booth's comments. Let me know what you think. And if you want more content, I'm done for YouTube today, but you can go check out the Patreon and see my full interview on the New Day Northwest. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll have a Driving with Dave for you in the morning and a Bachelor Rush Hour podcast this afternoon. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.